All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Coach Mo. I welcome you to this Zoom session where I'm going to be sharing with you guys on the Rqtmi Excel templates, how you understand how to make use of the Rqtmi Excel template. For the newbies who are here tonight, what we mean when we are referring to what we mean when we say the Rqtmi Excel template is that we are referring to how you can get the right settings based on your trading capital, because we see this a lot happening in the community. When somebody newly activated their bots, they want to quickly make back the activation fee. And that is not what you need to do once you get started. The first thing you should be focused on is learning and understanding the business. Yes. Because if you don't understand the business, you are so focused on how you get back your activation fee. This is not Ponzi scheme. You'll get disappointed. So it is better you understand the business the right way and you follow simple instructions for you to see the desired results. There are a lot of different trade settings out there, different strategies out there, because there are different team members out there in the community. But this is centered on the Rqtmi trade settings. Now, this Excel, for you to access this Excel, you need what we call WPS. WPS Office. It is a software just like Excel, Microsoft Excel, but this is what you need. Please, if you can't see my screen because I'm using my white screen, if you cannot see my screen very well, all you need to do is to pinch on your screen to zoom in. Just pinch on your screen with your two fingers to zoom in. You'll be able to see everything very clear on your screen. So this is the software you need to install on your phone, either iOS device, you go to App Store, or Android device. Just search for it. You see this software there. Install it, and then you open it with this Excel template. It's going to open just the way you see on my computer screen. Once you have this Excel opened on your screen, the first thing you should see is going to be dashboard. But on your mobile phone, it is at the top. You'll see all the tabs at the top. But you can see my tab here. They are down here at the bottom of my screen. And the first one we have on my screen, at the bottom of my screen on the tab, is dashboard, Rqtmi Magic 1. So you can navigate easily either at the bottom if you're on computer, or at the top if you're on a mobile phone. And if you can see here, we have the Rqtmi Magic 1, Magic 2, Magic 3, down to Magic 8. All these are settings based on the market trend. As you all know, we are in the bull season. We are in the bull season. Some of us here will be saying, are we really in the bull season? Yes, we are actually not in the bull season, but we are not in the bear season, okay? We are still experiencing the alt season very, very soon. So we are not going to say we are in the bear season, okay? So the settings we make use of here is going to be Magic 1, Magic 3, Magic 1, Magic 3, and then Magic 5. So please pay attention. And we are going to be looking at two types of trade, two types of strategy you can use to set your settings, okay? Which is the Rqtmi default settings, and then the Rqtmi bull tactics. These are the two types of Rqtmi trading strategy you can use to set your settings from this Excel. So please pay attention. Now, if you look closely, you will notice that the Rqtmi Magic 1 says covers for what? 30% dip. Magic 3 says cover for 25% dip. And Magic 5 says cover for 50% dip. What does this mean? It means that once you set up a trade, because Rqtmi is a semi-automated bot, meaning that just the way you use your washing machine, if you want to use your washing machine, if you agree with me, you have to put in the clothes and you press some numbers, give the washing machine a set of instructions, and then it takes one from you. It starts to wash your clothes for you. Same thing goes to Rqtmi. Rqtmi is a semi-automated bot. Okay? It's a semi, meaning that you have to be the one to give Rqtmi the set of commands. Now, these settings you see here are part of the commands you're giving to Rqtmi, your bot, to make use of to trade for you. Please still confirm if you can hear me. I believe everyone can hear me loud and clear. Please confirm if you can hear me loud and clear. For those who have questions, please write down your questions. Once it is time to take questions, I'll give you the space to ask a question. Please confirm if you can hear me. If you can hear me, let me see 111 on the chat. Just type a 111 on the chat. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, I can see them coming. Okay. All right, let's proceed. So once for Magic 1, the Rqtmi Magic 1, if you're using the Rqtmi Magic 1, once the robot starts to trade for you, it starts to buy that coin for you bits by bits, because the market is what? Volatile. It won't use all your capital to go into a trade. No. It won't do that, because the robot knows that this market is volatile. So what we mean by covers for 30% dip is that once it starts to buy and the price starts to go down, instead of going up, it will start to buy with the capital. Let's say, for example, it was $400 that was used to enter a trade with the Magic 1 settings. It will start to buy from this 400 bit by bit, until the price of that coin goes deep by minus 30%. That is when it will stop buying, because it has used up all the $400 to buy that coin. And remember, when the price is going down, it is buying that coin at a discounted price, at a cheaper price. Buy low, sell high is what we do here. I repeat, buy low, sell high is what we do here. So by the time it buys up with all the amount, the trading capital, which is $400, the robot will stop buying because it doesn't have more funds to buy. What the robot will be waiting for is for the price to start to reverse back up. Of course, it will go back up. It might take some hours, some few hours. It might take a day, it might take 2 days, or it can even take more. But you just need to allow the robot to do its thing and remain patient. So by the time the price starts to reverse back up, it will now start to sell. So that is what we mean by covers to 30% dip, covers to 25% dip, now covers to 50% dip, based on which of the settings you're using, either Magic 1, 3, or Magic 5. Now let's go to Magic 1. Let's go to Magic 1. Let's go to Magic 1. Please confirm if what I just explained is well understood before we move on to how you can use the Magic 1 setting based on your capital and how much capital would you have to be able to use the Magic 1 settings. Please confirm. I can only see okay, I'm yet to see any responses from you guys. Confirm if what I just said is well understood before we move on to how to use the Magic 1 settings. Please, you guys should confirm if what said so far is well understood. Okay. All right, thank you. So this is the Magic 1 settings. And it is fully stated here, if you can see, that this one, those who just joined us now, if you cannot see my screen very well, please just pinch on your screen and zoom in. You can be able to see everything very clear. So take note about that. There is a statement here that says what? Minimum capital for you to use Magic Wand is $320 and what above. But remember, Rqtmi will tell you that the minimum number of coins we want you to trade should be 3 and above. Why? Because sometimes you might be on 1 or 2 trades. They might be taking longer time to sell off, but maybe the third one will sell off faster, return back your capital. You can use that capital to trade another coin. But if you are only trading one coin, what happens if that coin is taking time to sell? It means that you will just be waiting. But if you have 3 coins, or if you are trading 3 coins and above, you have more chances of your trade selling faster. I hope that makes sense. So we always recommend to trade at least minimum number of coins should be 3 and above. So if you have capital that can cover for 3 coins, please split them into 3 instead of going to trade 1 coin with the whole of the capital. So for you to make use of Magic Wand, we say you should have a capital of 320 and above. So if, let's say, for example, you have $1,100 and you don't know which settings to make use of, whether you're to use Magic Wand settings or Magic 3 settings or Magic 5 settings, all you need to do is to say, okay, let me check if how much can fit into these 3 coins. Since they said the minimum number of coins should be 3 and above. Okay, let me say 1,100 divided by 3. What is it going to give us if we do that? If we use our calculator and do that, $1,100 is your trading capital divided by 3. You want to see how much can be allocated on each coin. It will give you $366. So if you have $366 per coin, trading 3 coins, you can now come here to the Magic Wand and see what is the minimum capital, 320. So it means that you can trade with the Magic Wand settings because it meets the condition or the requirement to use Magic Wand settings, because 320 and 366 is greater than 320. I hope it is clear. So this means that we are using Magic Wand. Then how do you get the right settings with this Magic Wand with your $366 capital? All you need to do is to impute the 366 on this remark. But before you do that, you need to do something very important. You need to subtract the first buy from the 366. Meaning that you say 366 minus 20. The first buy is 20, right? So you minus 20 from the 366. So how do we do this now? You just say 366 minus 20. I'll do 366 minus 20. It will give us what? 346. So it means that on this remark, we have to insert 346. Now let's do so that you see how it is going to work. Now let me tap on this and edit and write 346. Once you write 346, you confirm. For you to be sure that what you just did is correct, just scroll down, and then you see the total. Here will be 366, which means that you are correct. The next thing to do from here is to go to your Rqtmi to impute all these things you see here. I think that should be the last thing to do. Okay, but for now, just pay attention. I'll show you guys how to save this thing on your Rqtmi settings or your Rqtmi templates. Take note, once you save these settings, you don't need to save it all the time. Rqtmi has a template where once you save it, you can reuse the settings over and over on different coins whenever you want to trade. So it's not something you must do all the time. Take note about that. But let's take a look, a deep dive on all the parameters here. What do they actually mean? What do all these parameters mean? Risk type, the remark, the first buy, open position. What do they actually mean on your Rqtmi? So please pay attention. For the risk type, you can see here, it is stated that please use radical. We have steady, we have radical, and we have, what's it called again? Conservative. Is it conservative? We have radical, we have steady. I can't remember the third one we have. But one thing you must know is that the reason why we use radical is for the robot to be aggressive, right? Is for the robot to be aggressive in buying and selling for you. That is why we make use of radical. That is why we make use of radical. Conservative means that we have radical, we have steady, we have conservative. Conservative should just be it's something that just be conserved in buying and selling. And then steady means it should just not too fast, not too slow. You understand? But radical, we want it to be aggressive in buying and selling for you. That is why we make use of radical. So that is the meaning of radical. Then for the remark on your Rqtmi, this remark is just trying to tell you that you can rename the settings. You can give the settings a title. Take note, the Excel remark is for you to impute your capital after you subtract the first buy if you're using Magic 1. But on Rqtmi, this remark is just, you will notice that it is written as optional there on the column. It is just trying to tell you that you can either leave it empty or you write something there, like give the settings a name, just in case you have more than one settings. So in this case, if you are saving the settings for 366 capital, you write 366 here on the Rqtmi template where you want to save the settings from. So you write 366 there and then you move on to the next. The next now is going to be what? First buy amount. What is actually this first buy amount? What do we refer to as the first buy amount? First buy amount is the first amount that the robot will make use of from your capital to start trading for you, to buy that coin. Let's say you wanted to trade SRP. Once you initiate your trade to start, the first amount that will be deducted from this, your 360s, will be first buy, which is called $20 here. So $20 will be deducted from this, your $360 to buy some units of SRP. $20 units of SRP. Remember, what we are buying here is unit or quantity of cryptocurrencies. I hope it is well understood. Open position doubled. Don't enable. Yes, we don't make use of it because it will always multiply the first buy amount by 2. So we don't enable this. We don't need this. AI margin call controls how it buys your margin calls, which I will talk about this once we get there. But we don't make use of AI margin call. That is why we also say don't enable, turn it off to ensure the two are being turned off. Margin call limit is the number of times the robot will buy for you based on your capital. So it means that it will split this capital into 20 places. That is what is referred to as margin call limits. Once it buys the first call, that is margin call 1. Buy the second call, margin call 2. That is what is referred to as this margin call limit. Hold position take profit ratio is the final take profit. I repeat, it is the final take profit once it sells. Once it wants to get to the final take profit, it means that it is closing all the positions to close that trade completely and return back the capital and the profit made on that trade back to your USDT balance. So Hold position take profit is the projected take profit, the final take profit. Hold position take profit callback. Now, let me show you guys something. Let me show you guys something on my chart. Okay. Let me show you guys something on my chart. All right, so let's say, for example, you took a buy. Now I am talking about this. I'm talking about this. I'm referring to this. This is what I'm referring to. Take note, I am referring to hold, sorry, not this. I'm referring to hold position, take profits, call back. Take profits, call back. Remember the word, take profits. So let's go back to my charts. Let's say, for example, you took a buy. Your robot started trading for you. You initiated a trade. And the take profit of that trade, maybe you took a buy from here. Let me use this as an example. The robot started buying here, started the trade here. Okay. Let me make this bold enough so that you guys can see. I hope you guys can see. Now, the robot started trading for you here. You initiated the trade and it bought the coin here. And your take profit, your whole position take profit, which is your final take profit, was, let's say, for example, 3%. I guess you guys can see it. This is 3%, right? So let's say this. You bought here and you are expecting the robot to sell here, buy and sell. So let me make this two. Please pay attention. Pay attention. Sell. Okay. So the robot bought here. Remember, we are buying low to sell high. It bought here, and the projected take profit is 3%, which means it wants to sell here, where I wrote sell. But remember, most times there used to be spike in the market, maybe a massive spike. You can see this wick of this candle. You can see how it went up and it reacted and rejected before coming down. This is what I'm talking about. You can see this wick, this tiny wick is a reaction, a rejection candle. That's after it reacted and rejected, it started dropping down. Now, that spike you see there, that small wick, you see that long, tiny, long, small wick, the tiny long wick is a spike. We call it a spike. So it means that the price went up above there before coming down. But your take profit was 3%, which was this, 3%. Do you know that Rqtmi will not sell because of that whole position take profit callback? It will be holding your position up to this point where it went up to until there is a pullback or a retracement. Once it wants to start dropping down of 0.01%, that is when it will now sell and close the trade completely, because that is the final take profit. That is what we refer to as low position take profit callback. So it means that you are making more profit. Rqtmi will make more profits for you. So it might end up selling here or here. So it means that you make, instead of making 3%, you might end up making 4%. It all depends on the calculation. I'm not doing any calculation here, but I'm just trying to give you guys a practical way of how this thing works. Please, I hope this is clear. I hope this is clear. Is this clear? Please let me get your responses on the chat. Is the whole position take profit call back clear? Is the whole position take profit call back clear? Please let me get, I can only see few people responding. Please, if it's not well understood, just write it on the chat, not understood. The reason why I'm here is for you to understand. I am trying to explain. I just told you guys what this means, which is the whole position take profit ratio. It is the final take profit. Remember, we are buying low to sell high. So let's say your robot is trading for you. Please, somebody is writing on my screen. Stop writing on my screen. I have to reset this. Let me cancel. Let me delete all this. Okay. Whole position take profit ratio. I repeat, it is the final take profit. Once your robot starts to trade for you, the final take profit it will get to and sell and close the trade is referred to as whole position take profit ratio. That is what I drew on my chart. On my chart, I said, you bought here. We bought here, right? The robot bought here for you. That's why I marked this buy. And the price started going up, started going up, started going up. It didn't come down much. It started going up, started going up. And there was a spike. This was the initial take profit too. Now, this was the initial take profit, 3%. You can see this is 3%. This is where it is supposed to sell. But because of a spike happened, this is the spike I am talking about. You see this wick, this tiny wick, low down. It is a rejection. So it reacted here and rejected here. That was why that happened here. So instead of the Royal Cubo to sell when it got to the 3%, it won't because of this spike. A manual trader cannot see this. No, it's not possible. That's why this is AI robot. It's only Royal Q that can do this for you, that can get this kind of profit for you, because it will be able to catch this profit for you. So the Royal Q will not sell. It will still hold your position until when there's a pullback. Now, the whole position, what's it called again? Whole position take profit callback. It will have to wait for a callback of 0.01% based on what you use, but Rqtmi uses 0.01% because it will quickly sell. So it means that it will make you more profit. Instead of the 3%, it might end up making you 3.8% or even 4%. But if you look at it, where it went to about 4.5%. So it will wait for a drop down of 0.01%, then it will now quickly sell and close the trade and leave the market. So making you more profit. That is the function of this whole position take profit callback. This. Is this well understood now? For those who just joined the session, please don't worry, the session is being recorded. Once the session is over, you get a recorded link to a recorded a YouTube link to watch recorded session. So think about that. It is always being recorded and always uploaded on our YouTube channel. Is this well understood now before we move on to the next? For the newbies, is this well understood? And for those who are yet to understand what the whole position take profit callback means or how it works. Now, let's move on to buy in callback. What is this buy in callback for? Buy in callback controls how it buys the margin call, which I'll talk about this margin call. I'll also talk about this. It controls how it buys margin calls for you. So it won't buy until there's a pullback of 0.01% before it will buy. That is how it works. It controls how it buys your margin calls for you, which I will explain what margin calls means. Don't worry about that. I'll get there very soon. Then what about distributed take profit allocation? This also I will explain when we get to the margin configuration. Okay, no, not this, sorry. Distributed take profits allocation from the 5th to the 20th call. Yes, don't worry about this. I will explain when we get to the margin configuration, and also, so I'll explain this on the margin configuration. You will understand better. That's why I said I'll explain this and this on this margin configuration. But as for now, I believe you all understood what we've covered so far, which is the risk type, the remark, the first buy amount, operation double, AI margin call limit, operation take profit ratio, and operation take profit call back, and the buying call back. Now, let's move on to the margin configuration. This is the engine room of your settings. Yes, I always refer to this as the engine room of your settings. Why? Because this is how it distributes your capital. So this first call you see here, you can see we have margin call drop percentage and we have multiple buy-in ratio. There are two things here. We have margin call drop percentage and the multiple buy-in ratio. What is this margin call drop percentage? It is the percentage of the price drop. Now, pay attention. Let's assume this first call is shop 1. Shop 1. Shop 2. Shop 3. Shop 4, 5, 6, and so on and so forth, down to what? 20th shop. Remember, I said, just think about this first call as shop 1. Now, Royal Q boats, when it is trading for you, just have it at the back of your mind that it is going to the shop 1 to buy for you. But before it buys, the price, remember, it has already bought with $20, which was the first buy, which is FB. So instead of buying, now let me go to my chart. Let me go to my chart and show you guys something. Now, this is my chart. Let me delete this. I'm done with this. Okay. Let me use this for example. You are trading SRP. You want to trade SRP. SRP, for example. And your robots started buying here for you. And let's say your take profit was 3%. This is 3%. 3%. But look at what happened. Just take a look at what happened. 3% was your take profit, but it didn't get to 3% before a pullback happened, right? It didn't get to the 3% before a pullback starts to happen. This is where the margin configuration works. You see all this retracement down as it's going down. It is margin calls that will start to function for you. Your margin calls will start to be used. Your robots will start to buy what we call margin calls for you. So if you go and buy from shop 1, go and buy from shop 2 at different price intervals, because as you see, it is coming down. So the first price will be different from the second price because each price is coming down, meaning that it is giving you discount to buy SRP at a cheaper price. So all these things you see here happening from here down are margin calls. They are margin calls from here down. They are margin calls that are being bought. So as it is going down and up and down and up, it is also making you money. Now let's go back to the Excel chart. Now, when the price starts to drop down by minus 0.2%, it will trigger and buy from the first shop. How much is the robot going to use to buy from the first shop? 0.3. That's where the multiple buying ratio comes in. 0.3 multiplied by first buy, which is 20. Remember, 20 is the first buy amount. The first amount that will be used to to start the trade. That's what we refer to as first buy. But this multiple buying ratio works with the first buy, so it will always multiply it by the first buy, which is 20. So when you say 0.3 times 20, that's the amount it will use to buy from the first shop. So when we say 0.3 multiplied by 20, it will give you $6. So it means that Rqtmi will remove $6 from that your capital to buy from the first shop. Then when the price drops down again by minus 0.5%, Rqtmi again will remove another money from your capital to buy from the shop 2, from the second shop. This time around, it will be 1.4 times 20, which is your first buy. And by the time you do your maths, your calculation, 1.4 multiplied by 20, it will give you $28, meaning that it will use $28 from your capital to buy from shop 2. This is how it does until wherever it wants to get to before it starts to go up. But now, I want to explain something for you guys. Remember, I said the distributed profit allocation, I will explain when we get to the margin configuration. When this robot buys from shop 1 to 4, it takes the amount that was used to buy plus the first buy as a single entity. As a single entity. What do I mean by single entity? The reason why it is called single entity or whole, that's why we refer to this as the whole position. Whole position meaning that it is selling everything together. You see here we have this. Let me show you guys. See this? You see this? This whole position take profit ratio, where we have 3%, it works with the first buy, first to the fourth call, which is the first buy, shop 1 to shop 4. The first buy, shop 1 to shop 4. That is why it's called a single entity. So any amount that goes into the first buy, shop 1 to shop 4, when this robot is selling, it will sell everything together and give you your take. That is the final take profit. That is what I'm referring to as single entity. But now the distributed take profit allocation. Distributed means from the fifth call downward, it takes each of them as single entity. Single. What do I mean by this? It means that from shop 5 to shop 20, any amount that was used to buy, when it wants to sell, it will sell them separately. Not the same way it sells the shop 1 to shop 4 plus first buy, that it sells together. So let's say $200 was used to buy on the first buy at shop 1 to 4, to buy with the first buy and then buy from shop 1 to 4, it will sell everything once together. But from the fifth call, if let's say $6 was used to buy from the shop 5, and let's say $28 was used to buy from the shop 6, when the price wants to start to go up, it will have to sell the 20 and the shop 6 separately, give you your take profit, which is 1.3%, sell the shop from the shop 5 again, whatever amount that was used, which is $6, it will sell and give you 1.3%. It happens like this until it gets to the shop 4, 3, 2, 1 plus first buy. It will now sell all of them as one. Let me repeat again. Distributed take profit allocation from the fifth call downward. Why it's called distributed? Because these are distributed because they are separate. They are sold separately. When it's time to sell, they are sold separately. It doesn't combine them together and sell. So each of these call you see here, which I'll name it as shop 5, whatever amount that goes in, when it's selling, it will sell them separately. Please, is this understood? Let me first confirm if what I've explained is understood. Is this understood? So it means that from the 5th call downward, the price can go down, go up, go down, go up, go down, go up, making you money up and down, even while you are waiting for the trade to completely sell the 4321 plus first buy, which will be the final sell. It is making money for you downtrend. It can do this over and over and before it now finally go and sell everything. Everything meaning from before shop 4, shop 3, shop 2, shop 1, and the first buy. So you can make some money downtrend even while waiting for your trade to sell. That is why this is the engine room. That is why you have to understand that risk management is very important in this business. Don't go and use all your money because you want to make money fast. You want to go and adjust your settings so that you buy more. No, don't do that because you are not the market. You are not a market maker. You don't control the market. Anything can happen in the market. Anything can happen. So your capital is always being reserved in case of what? These retracements happening in the market. Maybe there's a news that comes in and it will not make the market bearish, meaning that your trades will be in a floating loss. So while it is in floating loss, it is buying for you and selling for you from this 5th call down to the 20th call, making money for you up and down trend. This is for the distributed take profit allocation. How about the sub position take profit callback, which is 0.01? It is the same thing I explained. When it is time to sell, let's say, for example, it bought down to the 10th call and the price starts to go up from the 10th call, right? When it is time to sell the 10th call, if there's a spike above the 1.3%, it is supposed to take. If let's say the price went above 1.3 to 1.6%, it will have to, the robot will not sell. It will hold that position until the price drops down by 0.01% before it will now sell, making you more profit. Instead of 1.3%, you might end up making 1.4 or 1.55, whatever the case may be. That is what this sub position take profit callback makes, 0.01. You can see how React can make you a lot of money. But you as a manual trader cannot do this. It is not possible. So if you don't understand all this, you think that you're just wasting your time with React. Some people say, why am I setting the robot myself? Why is robot not doing everything for me? No, all these things are things you need to set. And then React takes over from you. Just the way you use your washing machine. I hope this is clear. Now, that is it for the parameters. Then the last one here is strategy period. One shot. We have one shot and we have cycle. What is the difference from one shot and cycle? One shot means it is a one-time trade. Once it gets to the projected take profit, if it's 3%, once it hits 3%, it will close that trade completely, return your capital and profit back to your USDT balance. Cycle means when it sells, it hits the take profit, the projected take profit, which is 3%, it will buy back again and start a new cycle of that trade again. It will start a new cycle of that trade again. So it will buying, selling all the time until you finally say you are tired of trading the coin. But we don't use this cycle for these settings. What we use is one shot. So that is why we say strategy period, use one shot, because you want the trade to sell completely and leave the market for you so that you can use that capital to trade another coin once the first coin is done trading. I hope that is clear. Now, this is for Magic 1. Let's quickly move to Magic 3. How do we make use of Magic 3? How do we make use of Magic 3? This is Magic 3. And as you can see, for Magic 3, the minimum capital here says was $100. And let's assuming you have $300 capital and you don't know which settings to make use of. Very easy. 300 divided by 3. If you say 300 divided by 3, it will give you 100. So which means you can trade your 300 capital with Magic 3 settings, trading 3 coins, because we always recommend you to trade 3 coins and above. 3 coins and above. So with your 300, instead of going to trade 1 coin, please split them into 3, because sometimes you might enter a trade and that trade might take longer time. So your other 2 trades might start to sell faster and you keep on making money from those 2 trades. But if you go and put your money on 1 coin, what if that coin is taking time to sell? It means you start going to look for more trading capital to trade more coins. So how do you make use of these settings to generate it for you for Magic 3? By default, this is not supposed to be 136. It was the last settings I did for an activated member. All right, so now this is what you see. You see 100 will be here. For Magic 3, whatever capital you're using, please, you are not subtracting from first buy. Remember, Magic 1, we subtracted from first buy, they inserted it on the rematch. In this case, since 300 divided by 3 is 100, meaning that 100 per coin, leave this like this 100, just write it here. Let's say, for example, you have 350. Now, let's use 350 so that you guys understand what I'm trying to say. Let's use, your capital is 350, for example. 350 divided by 3. Now, when we say 350 divided by 3, it will give you 116. So it means that you can trade 3 coins with $116, meaning $116 per coin, trading 3 coins. In this case, for Magic 3, just insert your 116 here. You are not subtracting the first buy, unlike how we did for Magic 1. So, but you can also confirm if what you just did is correct. How do you know? You go down, you will notice that you are having the same 116 here. It shows that you are correct. This is how you validate what you just did. In this case, what next are we to do is to go to your royal queue and impute just the way you see it here. Everything you see, radical, first buy 50, remark, you can name it 116 capital because this setting is for 116. Don't enable, margin call limit. I'll show you guys how to do this on your royal queue. You insert everything here on your royal queue template and you save. That is how you generate settings for $100. Let's take a look at Magic 5. For Magic 5, it is said here that the minimum capital for Magic 5 is what? $520. This means that if you have below 520, you cannot use Magic 5. So let's assume your capital is $3,000. And you don't know which settings to make use of, either Magic 1, 3, or 5. Very easy. Very easy. Can somebody tell me what to do? Please, can someone tell me what to do if you have a capital of $3,000? Let me confirm if you have been paying attention. Can someone tell me what to do with a capital of $3,000? How do you know which of the settings to use? What is the first thing that comes to your mind to do? What is the first thing that will come to your mind to do with a capital of $3,000? Please, can someone Drop it on the chart. I am here to see any. Can someone tell us what to do if you're having a capital of $3,000? What are you supposed to do? Okay, I can see King Mohammed. Okay, he said divide 3K by 3. Okay, awesome, awesome. All right, so what you have to do here is to simply divide 3,000 by 3. Since you know the minimum number of coins we always recommend is 3 and above, when you say 3,000 divided by 3, it will give you 1,000. So you think about this. Do you want to trade 3 coins, 1,000 each, or can you trade more coins with this 3,000? Then you can now say, okay, let me check 3,000 divided by 4. 750. Oh, I can trade 4 coins. Okay, how about 5 coins? 3,000 divided by 5. Remember, Magic 5 settings is the best among the 3. I will explain why it is the best as we move. But we are trying to see how we can fit in this 3,000 to Magic 5 settings. So let me check if we can trade 5 coins with this 3,000 with the Magic 5 settings. So when you say 3,000 divided by 5, it will give us 600. Yes, we can trade 5 coins with 3,000 because the minimum capital to trade Magic 5 settings with is 520 and above. So yes, we can trade 5 coins, so 600 per coin. Now, you come to your remark on this Magic 5 settings. Before you impute the 600, please take note, you have to subtract from the first buy. Yes, Magic 1 and Magic 5 works the same way. Only Magic 3, you don't need to subtract, but Magic 1 and Magic 5 works the same. So when we say 600 divided by 20 will give us 580. So write 580 here and confirm. Then we can validate if we are correct. You go down under your margin configuration, under a multiple buying ratio, you notice that you have 600 here. This shows that we are correct. This is how you validate what you are doing. In this case, we have to go to your royal queue and impute these settings one after the other. I'm trying to see how I can share my screen. Let me just quickly see I can share my screen. Please give me a second. Let me see how I can share my screen. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay. Okay. All right, so this is my Rqtmi back office. And as you can see, the first thing you need to do if you're saving your settings on a Rqtmi is to tap on mine. You tap on mine, the bottom right of my screen, we have mine. You tap on mine. Once you tap on mine, you go down. You tap on, no, you go down and look for my strategy setting. You tap on my strategy setting, and then you tap on the plus at the top right. You tap on the plus at the top right. I believe you can see. Can you guys see my screen, please? Since my screen is not being shared. Oh my God. It seems my screen is not being shared. Can you see my screen? Okay, you can't see my screen. Oh my, oh my, oh my. Okay, sorry, please. Let me share my screen again. Let me share my screen again. Something went wrong. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, it should come up any moment. All right.
Yes. Coming up.
All right. Can you guys see my screen now?
Yes. You can see us.
Can you guys see my screen now?
Yes, coach, you can see.
Okay, thank you. So once you come to your Rqtmi, remember we want to save the settings that we generated from the Excel template. You come down to your bottom right of your screen, you find mine, tap on mine, then you tap on my strategy settings. Look for my strategy settings, tap on my strategy settings. Once you get here to my strategy settings, you now tap on, let me delete this. This was a mistake. You now tap on the plus at the top right, plus at the top right of your screen. It will open up a page just the same way we have on the Excel template. You can see it is similar to what we have on the Excel template. Why? Because we have risk type, we have remark, the same thing we have on the Excel template. This Excel template is just an easy way for you to quickly impute your settings based on your capital. Okay, now the risk type, you can see by default is on steady. You tap on the steady. This is what I mean. Let me see, can I share? Okay, you tap on the steady. Then you change it to radical because on the Excel, what it says we should use is radical. Remark, this capital is 600. You can just write $600 or 600 just to give these settings a description or a name. First buy amount, I am using the last set, which is Magic 5. We use the $600 on. Then the first buy is 20. You write 20. Whatever you see on the template is what you impute here. This is sometimes you notice that you see open position double here and here margin call here. On the template, it says don't enable, turn it off. But you can see here, it only showed open position double. It is already turned off. It is on like this, but by default, it is turned off. So make sure you switch it off just the way it is on my screen. Margin call limit, it says 24. You tap on done. Whole position take profit ratio 3. This can be changed. You can edit this anytime. It all depends on what you are trading, or if you analyze what you want to, where you want to take profit from, either 3%, either 5%, either 1.5% or 2%, all depends. But by default, you just always leave it on 3, but you can edit this anytime you're trying to trade a coin or you load the settings on a coin you want to trade. You can always edit this before you save. We have a video on that will guide you on how to set up a trade. Whole position take profit callback 0.01. Margin configuration, we can do this to be the last. 0.5, 0.01. That's a call, buying callback. Distributed take profit allocation. Make sure you tap on it. It says on the template, use 1.8%, all true. So it means that you have to change this 1.3 to 1.8, 1.8, 1.8, all true till you get to the 24th call. You can see, you edit everything to 1.8 and you tap on confirm. I'm not doing it, but make sure you do it. I just want you to understand what I'm trying to say here. And then sub position, take profit callback also, 0.01. And then finally, before we go to the magic configuration, you see where we have the strategy period. Tap on the cycle to switch it to one shot. Just tap on it once. You'll see it will show you one shot. You choose one shot, and that is all it will switch. It is here to switch. Let me do it again. Take it slow. One shot. Why is it not switching? What's happening? And this iPhone sometimes it used to mess up. It is supposed to switch to one shot. I don't know why it's not switching. Okay, it has switched. Now, you can see it has switched to one shot. The last thing here to do is margin configuration. This is the engine room. So what you have on the margin configuration from the first call to the 24th call is what you are going to impute here. You edit all the figures here, both for the margin call drop and the multiple buy-in ratio. This is how you set up and save your settings, and you confirm. Let's assume you're done, you confirm, and then you tap on save. Once everything is properly done, you tap on save. It will save, and you tap on confirm. This is how you save your settings. This is the Rqtmi default settings. I hope it is clear. I hope it is clear. So what we just did now is the Rqtmi default settings. When we say the default settings, it is the settings that makes you money uptrend and downtrend. Uptrend and downtrend. Remember, we have the bull tactics, the Rqtmi bull tactics category 1 and bull tactics category 2. So let me show you how that works. We have the bull tactics. What do we mean by bull tactics? We have 1 and 2, category 1 and category 2. When we say bull tactics, it means that you want to use the settings that will make you more profit. However, there are some conditions that you must take note of. And I'll also show you how to combine the bull tactics together with your default settings. I'll show you how to do that. For the bull tactics category 1, it means that your robot will not make money for you downtrend. It will only make money for you uptrend. But when it is selling, let's say 3% was the take profit. TP, take profit, is 3%. It will make you 3% of the whole of your capital. Let's say $600 now is your capital on a trade called SRP, on a coin called SRP. When it is time to sell, to give you a 3%, it is giving you 3% of $600, making you more profit. That is for bull tactics category 1. For bull tactics category 2, it will make you money downtrend to a certain level, but it will not make you the kind of money that the bull tactics category 1 will make you or make for you. I hope that is clear. I hope that is clear. Now let's go to the template, to the Excel template, so I'll show you how you can edit, or I'll say how you can what's it called? How you can reconfigure your settings to bull tactics category 1 or either bull tactics category 2. So remember, you've already saved your settings, right? You can also use that settings and modify it whenever you want to trade a coin with the bull tactics category 1 or 2. So how do you now modify the settings? This is Magic 5 settings. Now let's use Magic 5 for this. I'll use Magic 5 and also show you how to use Magic 3. Magic 5 and Magic 1 is the same process. Please take note. It is the same process. So for Magic 5, bull tactics category 1, this is how we use it. You are not going to let the robot buy the 5th call downward. You are only going to allow the robot to buy the first buy to the 4th call. Because remember, I said something earlier that first buy first to the 4th call is a single entity. Any amount that goes to the first buy to the 4th call, it will sell them together. So you don't want the robot to buy from the 5th call downward. So how do you modify these settings now to be bull tactics category 1. Very easy. You edit this margin call drop fifth call to 50% because you don't want it to buy the fifth call. You want it to stop at the fourth call. And then the leftover capital, the capital that was supposed to be used to buy the fifth call down to the last call, you add it to the first buy, first to the fourth call. So whatever amount you manually add here, it will add it and sell everything together. So how do you now know the leftover capital? Very easy. We have to do a little mathematics here. How do you know the leftover capital that you use to always do manual replenishment or manual buy? Manual buy means you manually buy the coin with the leftover capital. So it will be added to the first buy to the fourth call as one single entity so that it will sell everything and give you more profit. So if it's $600, it will give you 3% of $600 because you are adding everything to this position. So for you to know the leftover capital, all you need to do is to say 1.5 plus 5.8 plus 1.5 plus 5.8. You add the first to the fourth call. Whatever you get plus the first buy, multiply by the first buy. Now let me go to my calculator. Please pay attention. So we want to calculate what? The leftover capital. To know how much is the leftover capital of a capital of $600. So 1.5, which is the first call, 1.5 plus 5.8 plus 1.5 plus 5.8. Let me start again. Sorry. 1.5 plus 5.8 plus 1.5 plus 5.8. It will give us what? 14.6. 14.6 plus 1. 14.6. You say plus 1 again. Always add 1 after you are done with the calculation. Plus 1, it will give you 15.6. Now, 15.6 is always good to erase everything and write it again because sometimes it will give you wrong calculation. It will give you wrong figures. It will give you wrong figures. Yes, it will give you wrong figures. So erase everything and write it manually. 15.6 again. Then now we are multiplying it by the first buy. Whatever we get, multiply by the first buy, which is 20. So this is magic 5. You say multiply by 20. It will give you 312. So since you know that 312 will be used by the first buy to the fourth call, it is easy now for you to know the leftover capital. How do you know the leftover capital? What is the capital? 600. 600 minus 312. 600 minus 312. It will give you 288. So 288 is supposed to be the capital that will be distributed on the fifth call downward. So that is what you use to do your manual buy. So you go to that trade, you tap on buy, you tap on market price, you impute the 288. I don't have any running trade right now. You impute the 288 and then you confirm. It will manually buy immediately because we want to buy at the market price. It will buy and add up to this position of the first buy down to the fourth call. Please, I hope this is understood. I hope this is understood. This is how you get your calculation and how you know your leftover capital for the bull tactics category 1. Remember, we are stopping it from buying the fifth call. That's why you are modifying. You need to modify this margin call drop of the fifth call to 50%. Once it starts to trade, once you don't need to wait for it to buy down to the fourth call. Once it has bought the first buy, just go ahead and you do your manual buy. That is it. That is for the bull tactics category 1. Now, how about the bull tactics category 2? For the bull tactics category 2, we are stopping the robot from buying the 11th call. It will buy from the first call to the 10th call, but from the 11th call downward, it won't buy. So we have to modify. We have to modify this margin call drop and change it to 50. And then we do the same thing again. To get the leftover capital, you add 1.5 plus 5.8 down to the 10th call. Whatever you get plus 1, whatever you get multiplied by 20. Then the total will be the amount that will be used to buy the first to the 10th call. Then you see 600 minus what will be used to buy the first to the 10th call will now give you this, your leftover capital. That is what you use to do your manual buy. It will be added to the first to the fourth call. I hope this is clear. I hope I am not speaking Chinese. I hope it is clear. Before we proceed, please, I want to be sure what I have said so far is well understood. However, for those who just joined us or those who their network is not stable, do not worry. The recorded session is going to be shared across all groups so that you can have a rewatch. You can do manual buy, yes, when it buys the second call and third call. Yes, you can do it whenever you want to, but make sure you do it because sometimes some trade will just move and go and sell. And you might not end up doing the manual buy, so that you'll be able to make more profit. That's why you need to quickly do it. But even if it has bought the or third call, no problem. You can go ahead and do your manual buy. I hope it is clear, King William. I hope it is clear. Okay, let's move on to Magic 3. How do we use the bull tactics for Magic 3? For Magic 3, unfortunately, you cannot use bull tactics category 2, only bull tactics category 1. Yes, you cannot use bull tactics category 2 for Magic 3, only bull tactics category 1. Bull tactics category 1 and 2 can only be used for Magic 1 and Magic 5. So how do we modify Magic 3 to be able to fit in for the bull tactics category 1? Very easy. You stop it from buying the second call. Down. So it not buy the second call. So this from the second call down to the 7th call, capital is what you use to do your manual buy, meaning that you are modifying this 5% you have here on the margin call drop to write 50 because you don't want it to buy the second call, only the first call. And how do you get your leftover capital? 0.9 plus 1. When you see 0.9 plus 1, it give you 1.9. 1.9 multiplied by the first buy. What is first buy for Magic 3? It is 15. To give you 28.5. Now that you have 28.5, what is your capital? 116. 116 minus 28.5. 116 minus 28.5 to give your leftover capital. So you have a leftover capital of 87.5. However, forget the 0.5 and use your $87 to do your manual buy. This is how you use bull tactics category 1 for Magic 3. Now, how do you combine bull tactics and the default settings? How do you combine them? How you easily combine them is that if you are trading 3 coins, 2 coins should be on default settings. 1 should be on bull tactics category 1. If you are trading 4 coins, 2 coins should be on default settings, 2 coins should be on bull, that is category 1. If you are trading 5 coins, 3 coins should be on default settings, 2 coins should be on bull, that is category 1. If you are trading 6 coins, 3 default, 3 bull, that is category 1. I hope it's clear. This is how you combine both together to be able to maximize your profits. So do we have any questions, please? Do we have any questions? If there's anything I've said so far that was not clear, please quickly call on my attention to that so that you understand better. Any questions, please? Any questions, please? If you have questions, please don't keep your questions in silence. Make sure you ask questions. The more you ask questions, the more you understand the business. Yes, you can use bull tactics and also change it to bull warehouse mode. Yes, please. Instead of one shot, yes. What you're telling the robot to do now is that when it wants to sell, it will sell everything together. Let's say, for example, it bought, the reason why using bull warehouse mode does not make any sense for bull tactics category 1. If you're using bull tactics category 1, I'm referring to bull tactics category 1, it is not buying the fifth call downward, right? It's only buying the first to the fourth call. But if you want to use bull warehouse, let's assume it bought down to the 6th call or 7th call, and you switch it to bull warehouse mode, it means that it will sell everything together. You are not making money downtrend. It will sell 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 plus first buy once together. That is what bull warehouse mode means. So bull warehouse mode will not make you money downtrend. No, it will only be buying margin calls for you, but it won't sell. But when it's time to sell, it will sell everything together and make you more profit. But you not make money downtrend. I hope it's understood. Queen BC Minions, I hope it's understood. Any other question, please? If you have any questions, please feel free, ask your questions. If you have, please feel free, ask your questions. Mode. We have when it sells, let's say in the 7th call, it will not reflect in your revenue details because it will take it back again and buy back again. Let me repeat myself again. Let's say, for example, it bought 7th call and it sold because the price wanted to start going up, or the price has started going up to, it wants to go to the 6th call. Of course, it will have to sell 7th call because the price wants to go to the 6th call. If it sells the 7th call, the profit that was realized in the 7th call, it will not reflect on your revenue because it will want to use it again to buy. Maybe if the price goes down, it will buy back again until it closes all the positions before it will now show you how much that was made. So for the sub-being real-time settlement is that any profit that was made, if it made profit in 7th call, it will return back the profits to your USDT balance, but sub-being mode will not return back the profit, it will use it again. So, but sub-being mode real-time settlement will return back the capital, the profit, and show you on your revenue details that this is how much I made on the 7th call when I sold. On the 6th call again, when it sells, this is what I made on your revenue details to show you this is what I made when I sold. I hope it is clear now. King William. That is why we always say use sub-being real-time settlement, because people want to see how much profit the robot is making for them on the downtrend in real time. Okay, I can see Queen Chika said, I did one short trade for the past 3 weeks. It has been on deep, even the one I did manually by. What do I do? Please, you are to remain patient. You are to remain patient. If you have been following up for past weeks now, the market has been too slow because of the upcoming news that we're having. Cryptocurrency is volatile. I believe anyone here listening to me, before you signed up to React, you were told that this business needs patience. And it's a long-term thing. You have to put your mind that this is a long-term business. Yes. To get to a time where we'll start to make a lot of money, but whatever situation your trade is at the moment, please understand that it's the market condition. You just have to remain patient. It will sell. It might take some time, but it will definitely sell. I hope it is clear, Queen Chika. Okay, using Magic 5, I think this will be the last question. Time is no longer on our side. Using Magic 5, and after the fourth margin call, the fifth margin call is changed to 50%. That means even if the coin gives order, you don't make a profit. Yes, yes, you don't, even if it dips further, it won't buy. That's why I said bull tactics category 1 will not make you money downtrend, only uptrend. That is why you are combining the bull tactics category 1 plus default settings. Default settings will be the one making you money downtrend, but the bull tactics will not make you money downtrend. But by the time it is selling, you know you're making good profit. All depends on how much capital was injected on that trade that is running on the Magic 5 bull tactics category 1. And remember, profit in this business is a function of your capital, market condition, and the skill set on how you can pick trades. So you should work on understanding how to pick trades so that you'll be able to make more profits. I repeat, your profit in this business is a function of your capital, the market condition, and the skills on how to pick trades. So try as much as possible to, if you want to learn how to analyze, how to pick trade, just make sure you always focus more on the picking of trade, because what we want to do here is always buy low to sell high. I hope it is clear. So thank you so much for your time. For those who stayed to the end of the session, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. We normally do this every Fridays. Tomorrow is going to be for technical analysis. Okay, so please, if you want to learn how you can analyze trades by yourself, how you can be independent picking trades by yourself, please make sure you attend the session for tomorrow. Same time, same place. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye from your side.